to Megan Rapinoe and all of U.S. women's soccer. Megan, my name is Dan Quinn. In the future, I'd like to become an honorary member of the lesbian club. I can't stand most men. I think most of them are a bunch of worthless, lying pieces of shit that'll stab you in the back, shake your hand, and take your wallet at the same time. And in the future, they're going to call me Maitreya because I discovered that Stevia splits water into a natural gas that can power engines. You can see it in your own blender. Put a half teaspoon of Stevia in a third blender full of water. Turn it on. Water will pop. Fill the blender with white soup. No more water. It's a gas called split H2O. They can actually run cars off that. Planes, name it. They can build engines to run off it. Anyhow, I've also discovered the fountain of orgasm for women, Megan. How to take a woman that's been raped and can't come because she has mental blocks to over 100 an hour. Press down on her belly, on her right side, against the inside fingers that are in and up to the bottom of the G-spot. Those fingers touching each other, massaging, kneading, like it's a lump of dough, the G-spot. And every time you touch those fingertips, it'll give an orgasmic feeling. I've taken a woman who had been raped and couldn't come to over 100 in an hour, and it's truly a miracle. Back to the natural gas part, Megan. You can make up for the dismal showing of the United States women's team by using your notoriety to get a scientist to blend stevia in water and to see water magically transform into a natural gas. It's called split H2O. I mentioned before that water pops, it turns white into this, it triples in size into a white soup. I've had a PhD in the past tell me that's a natural gas, and it's going to make me the richest man on the planet because its exhaust can be turned into what acts like a fountain of youth if you remove the huge layer of floating soap at the end of the blend. That floating toxic soap that you get when you blend stevia in water, that's all the warning, danger, caution, toxic, will kill you chemicals we pour down the sink and the drain every day around the country and around the world. We're polluting our water supply. We're vanishing water in our internal combustion engines. Einstein said that nothing ever vanishes. Well, when you pour liquid into a gas tank in a car, it vanishes in the smog because the internal combustion engine vaporizes the hydrogen. There's more water than there is fossil fuel in petroleum gasoline. Most people don't even know that. Anyhow, Megan Rapinoe. I've heard many people say it either way, but it's Rapinoe. Like I said, I'd like to become an honorary lesbian in the future. I would take gold at the lesbian oral Olympics playing the violin. I call it the violin because you're massaging in a violin action with your fingers on the G-spot, on the top and the bottom. Yeah, I would take gold at the lesbian oral Olympics. We should have them. You know, why not? There's not enough fun. There's not enough excitement. People live boring, for the most part, desperate lives, you know, until the end of their days. And it shouldn't be like that, Megan. If I was a billionaire, which I'm going to be, what I would do is I would pay 90% of my profit down into doing good works and things that need to be done and putting people back in the comfort zone, you know, where they should be. You know, there shouldn't be this two-tiered system with the billionaires and the have-nots. Everybody should have enough. And yeah, this Maitreya thing, Maitreya, look it up, because Stevia is putting water into a natural gas that can power engines. That's free power. We don't have to pay Exxon Mobil, for petroleum gasoline anymore. They can build engines to run off of split H2O. So that's free power that fulfills the prophecy. And I was actually touched by a golden halo of light 35 years ago, or 1987 or 88 at Notre Dame, enveloped in a golden halo, which brought me to my knees and told me I was going to be the richest man on this planet. And with that money, what I was to do was to end slavery. And on the top of the list, before any colors, black, brown, being slaves, women, slaves to men. And it didn't used to be that way. Before pyramids were poured, Poured, like concrete from spaceships, women used to be in charge. And what they did is they hunted them all down. That's why there's spaceships drawn deep inside of caves, Megan. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's a warning. It wasn't a celebration. And women used to be in charge. And with billions of dollars, I'm going to try to redirect how society would have been before aliens fucked with us and put us on a quest to see if we're worthy of reaching the stars. How things stand now, with conflict, wars, starvation, on a planet that can provide so much for so many, we wouldn't be worthy of ever reaching the stars. And in previous videos, Megan, I've said that when I was 8 years old, I saw aliens. I was asleep in my bedroom. There was a loud thunk. An alien that was scurrying across the couch had dropped some kind of instrument on the ground, and it woke me up. And they were making a beeline for the storm windows that were above the fireplace in our living room, and they were coming from a direction of my mom's room. And when I was 8 years old was basically when she stopped defending me, because if I ever have defense of Dan Quinn's name when I'm at Notre Dame and charged with an attempted rape that never happened, I'm a millionaire, and I'm looking for any school that I want to go to and play football and go to the NFL and become a superstar, because I can cover black wide receivers and running backs man for man and shut them down, because I'm the fastest on the field. Yeah, Megan, I was charged with an attempted rape. Their story was the stereo was playing so loud that Patsy McGowan's cries for help couldn't be heard. The priest's testimony that he knocked on the door in this 3 to 5 minute time window that I was alone with this girl in my room. 3 to 5 minutes, there was a knock at the door, and it was the priest of the hall, the rector, trying to get in touch with me. And Patsy McGowan and I went silent. He listened at the door, you could tell, and then he left. And then there was a little knock at the door. He's gone. And it was all the freshmen in the hall that had been keeping tabs on what was going on with Patsy McGowan and I, and which was I was about to get her panties off. But that knock saved a potential rape accusation down the road into something that wasn't even worthy of going before the police. And Notre Dame kicked me out because Lou Holtz didn't like me. Look at Dan Quinn's Notre Dame play, Megan Rapinoe. It's me as an outside linebacker catching a diving tailback for a touchdown, or a tailback diving for a touchdown. I catch him on 4th and inches on the goal line. The commentators don't even mention my name. They don't rewind. They don't slow it down. They don't mention my name. I'm fired immediately when I hit the sidelines. Lou Holtz puts me on the 4th team when I should have been starting. Yeah, Megan Rapinoe, if you're a football fan, if it's not for Lou Holtz, everybody around planet Earth knows who Dan Quinn is, because I'm the only white guy that can cover black wide receivers and running backs man for man and shut them down, because I'm faster than they are by far. You know, throw Tim Brown in that group included. So we're at 11, 25, 29, 31. Go to about 15, Megan Rapinoe. Maitreya, look it up, because me discovering that Stevia turns water into a fuel that can be used by engines fulfills the prophecy, and its exhaust is going to make me the richest man on the planet, because if you remove all the floating toxic soap at the end of the blend, the liquid that's left over, I call it pure H2O, and pure H2O cures cancer in 4 months. And my uncle, he had 6 turning cancer breast tumors that were gone in 4 months drinking pure H2O. 74 pounds of flabby fat melted off his body in 4 months, and type 2 diabetes was gone within a week. So extrapolate those results around the country and then around the planet, Megan Rapinoe, and it's a epic event of almost biblical proportions. You know, that sun is looking like a halo. So, Megan Rapinoe and United States women's soccer, you guys fucked up, disappointed. How many? You know, I was getting ready to watch you run to another World Cup, and then you guys laid that turd on the field, and I'm thinking that Megan Rapinoe or one of the straight women on the national team saying, oh yeah, Dan Quinn's right, the violin works, would do what? It would get the Fountain of Orgasm for Women famous, and Lord knows women need a lot more pleasure than they're getting, you know, with society and how it's structured. Women, for the most part, being helpers to men instead of their accomplices. No accomplices. They're partners. Big difference, helper and partner. And the Bible puts helper the Bible also lies to Eve, says that she's going to die if she eats from knowledge. So what is the first thing that Eve does? Is she trying to commit suicide? You know, foreseeing life of misery and childbearing, sex slavery to men. And Megan Rapinoe, I would like to be an honorary lesbian in the future and use the profit from billions of dollars, trillions of dollars eventually, to do everything good that needs to be done, and also to hunt down bad men and make them pay for what they've done, as an example to everybody not to repeat that bullshit in the future. One of the little side gigs that I'm going to get into when I have the means to do so. So anyways, Megan Rapinoe, the violin, the fountain of orgasm for women, pressing down on her belly on her right side against the inside fingers that are in and up to the bottom, those fingers touching each other, massaging in a violin action. It's actually like that. You can use your thumb off your inside fingers as your tongue on the clitoris. That brings women to 2 and even 3 orgasms a minute easily for as long as it's played. That was my first miracle. My second miracle was when I put stevia in water and turned the blender on and witnessed water triple in size and blow the top of the blender off, and this white soup cascade all over the kitchen counter. And I was like, oh my God, I found it. I knew that water had turned into a gas. I knew that event fulfilled the prophecy that I had 30 plus years ago at Notre Dame, telling me I was going to be the richest man on the planet, and what I was to do with that money was to end slavery and to save this planet from those who are trying to destroy it, because that's what the rich are trying to do. They're not trying to make this a better place, more equitable, free for all. They want slaves, and they're using the internal combustion engine, which is going to vanish all the water on planet Earth and make it uninhabitable for humans. Yeah. So, Megan Rapinoe, United States Women's Soccer. The violin is the fountain of orgasm for women. It works. Stevia, splitting water into a natural gas, is the essence of cold fission. And I discovered both of them. They're going to call me Maitreya, and it is what it is.